Welcome back to Painted Valley Design's YouTube channel, where we will be showing you tutorials as well as an exclusive look into our glitter collections. You can find the glitters used in these videos at www.paintedvalleydesigns.com. Today we are going to be creating a watermelon cup. So I have gone ahead and painted my cup with this Rust-Oleum Meadow Green spray paint, and it has dried. And then I am going to apply glitter using the epoxy method. I'm going to be using Avalon, Abaddon, Ruby, Time for a Wedding, and then a little mixture that I made of Time for a Wedding and Avalon. And the epoxy that I'm using for this one is the CC DIY artist resin. I was able to, I used up all the last, that amazing clear cast I was using, so I went ahead and decided to take the leap and get this because I've heard great things about it, and so far I am impressed with it. So I just go in here and I am applying my epoxy from the top to the bottom. Now that my cup has been applied with epoxy, I am going to grab Avalon and go in at an angle here and sprinkle that on the cup. So it's going to be like half green and half red, just at a diagonal line instead of a straight up and down. And there's no exact science to this. Like you can see here, I'm just kind of dumping it on to make that swirl design. And now I am grabbing Time for a Wedding and going in on the outer edges of that green and laying it down. And now I'm going to go in with Abaddon and cover up the spots that don't have glitter yet. And you can see as I pour this on that I am leaving some patches empty, because that is where I'm going to go in and put the chunky version of Abaddon. It's called Ruby. I'm going to put that down in those blank spots. And now I'm going to take Ruby and put it in the leftover empty spaces here on the red. And I have now gone in and I've done another layer over that glitter to make it smooth, and I've added my watermelon seeds. Now we're going to go in and we're going to do another layer of epoxy on this, and we're going to also do some acrylic mixed with epoxy swirls on this to give it that look like a watermelon crust has. You know, it's not all the same green. It's got a little green, a little lighter green, and some white in there. So we're going to go ahead and apply epoxy all over the cup and then get into that. My cup is now completely covered in epoxy, and I've got my 3 different acrylic colors here. I've got like a warm white color, I've got a more of a lime green, and then a darker green. And so I just am going to take this white color and I'm going to go in, excuse my arm, I'm going to go in here on like the part of the watermelon that, goes from green to red, it's a little bit whiter. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on here just lightly. And I made this mixture is pretty thick. I didn't want it to run a whole lot, so I did put more acrylic paint in there than what I normally do. So you can see here I'm just taking my gloved finger and I am spreading that acrylic epoxy around so that you can still see the glitter underneath and that it's not just a solid color there. And I'm just turning my turner off while I do that because it keeps me from making an even bigger mess than I normally do. So I'll go ahead and go in on the other side here of what I like to call the crust part. So I will just spread that around with my finger, and then we will move on to the greens once that is done. And now I'm taking that lighter green over my green glitter here, just laying it down, and I will do the same thing that I did before and spread it out with my gloved finger. And now I'm taking the darker green and I'm laying this down as well. And I didn't smear the lighter green yet with my finger because I kind of want these two colors to mix together well. So I just kind of left that where it was and waited until I got this dark green laid down. And here is the final product. I will link the glitters down in the description box below. Feel free to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on that bell notification so you can be alerted whenever we post new videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.